first of all, about 1/3 of the ride is already ride-free. And so it's not such a huge reach. Secondly, there's new opportunities because finally the state climate fight people in DEM and the Division of Planning are finally dealing with transportation. All the effort so far has been pretty much on energy production, electricity production. But transportation is the biggest and most rapidly growing part of the greenhouse gas emissions. So there's a new opportunity in the planning process. Secondly, the budget has showed what it really would cost to do this. We always had the idea of fare box revenue, but now it's broken down to what the passengers actually pay and what so-called third-party payers pay. So in the budget on page D1, you'll see that actual passenger fares are about 12.3 million. And if you add what the private sector pays, like through EcoPass, insignificant, 160,000, and the UPass down to about 1.5 million, the revenue that would have to be made up by having all the fares free would be about $14 million. Not insignificant, but not a total, an outrageous reach when you think that the state is about to undertake spending $220 million every year to phase out the auto taxis. So 14 million is not a big ask. This assumes we keep the existing taxpayer funds. That's a challenge too, I know. But also there's an opportunity for savings. Wouldn't have to process the fare revenue. Wouldn't have to print passes. Wouldn't have to maintain fare boxes. Wouldn't have to, you speed up boarding, using equipment and labor more efficiently, attracting more riders. That's the whole idea behind the climate change. And it would really put Rhode Island on the map. Think, the only state in the country with free fares for everybody. Now, I know that I can't make that happen, and neither can RIPTA by itself. So what I'm really asking the board and staff to do is shop the idea around. Shop it to, for example, the downtown business community that has so far seen the buses more of a problem than a help, even though bus transit is their one transportation advantage over all the suburban locations. Shop it around to state planners, to the environmental officials, smart growth advocates, to the business community, to labor. Most of the people paying the fares are low-income people, low-income, struggling working people. They need to be considered too as for getting a break. And I'll help shop it around to the environment community, which I'm part of. And ultimately, it has to be shopped around to the political establishment, of course, the governor's office and the legislature, presumably after the election. Well, if you don't find support for this idea from those groups, it's not going to happen. But I strongly urge you to give it a try, because otherwise the status quo, you know it. RIPTA's ridership is down 5 million or so in the last 10 years, down to about 16 million. I'm glad it's stabilized, but it's still not doing much for the climate change, for the environment, or for the attempt to redevelop our core cities. So thank you for all that time and attention.
Thank you.